Howdy everybody, it's your pal Misty. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Cause today we got two storms in the Gulf. Fun, good times. Happy 2020 everybody. Where for the first time there are two storms that could possibly become hurricanes in the Gulf of Mexico. For those of you who don't know, I live in the Houston area, so they're both coming towards us. So I thought it would be fun. Not really fun because nobody wants to do it, but I thought it might be slightly helpful or at least a little bit entertaining to see my hurricane ration set. So for those of you who don't know, one good thing about a hurricane is that we get to plan to be without power for possible days at a time. Luckily, I've been very fortunate to where in past hurricanes I've only been without power maybe 24 to 48 hours has been the tops. Most of the time it's maybe 8 to 12 hours if the power does actually go out due to any of the storms. I am a little bit more on the north side in the Spring Woodlands area of Houston, for those of you who know where that is. But it is a little bit farther away from the shore, so my biggest fear is not flooding, although maybe possibly in front of my door, but I already know how to build a rock wall to stop that from the last hurricane that came through. Anyway, let's jump into what we have. So I thought I would start with just a few necessary items that people don't always think about. Number one is a power bank. My power bank right now has my light plugged into it, but a little power bank. This is a little one because it's easier to transport. I also have a larger one. This one will recharge my phone probably 3 times. My Apple phone probably 4 or 5 times. And my Android phone maybe 3 times. And then the bigger one, double that. So it's nice to have a battery backup in case all of your power goes out. You'll still both have some form of connection and some form of entertainment, because that can also charge, like my Kindle, which holds battery a little bit longer, and things like that. Another thing you want to have is a candle. No sponsor, Mom. This is my mom's company. But it's always important to have candles for lights, which also, don't forget, because this is the piece that I normally forget, don't forget to have a lighter for your candles, or else the candles are useless and don't help. However, if you still have both of those things, another nice thing to have is a flashlight. This is just a little bitty, boop, 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 a little tiny flashlight. Boop, boop, boop. It's like a party. But it's actually really bright for a little flashlight. I bought these from the Dollar Tree, I don't know, 4 years ago. They're battery operated, so I do have some AA batteries also from the Dollar Tree, which may not last as long as others, but I think I've never... Maybe on one of them I've had to change the battery, but that's more just because they've been in there for a while more than because the battery went out. So flashlight, boop, 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 flashlight is another good thing to have in case the lights go out. Something that I didn't bring to show you, but that is also important, of course, is water. I have a Brita water filtration system. So I also have a lot of mason jars, and before the storm, one thing that's good to do is to fill up your bathtubs, and some people even fill up their sinks with water. And I know for those of you who are not in a hurricane area, you're like, "Why, are you going to take a bath?" I mean, yeah, we would like to take a bath as well, but more importantly, we want to flush our toilets. And if you don't have fresh water running into the system for whatever reason based on the storm, you can still flush your toilets, and that, people, is important when you're having to stay in your house all day because it's raining outside. So, little pro tip on that. Anyway, with that being said, oh, hey Barnum. Barnum's been really excited because the next few pieces are food, and he thinks he's going to get to eat them. He doesn't know this is the hurricane ration set, which stays uneaten until like October, and then you can kind of jump into it. So he's super excited about today's video. I hope you're enjoying it so far. But with that, let's go ahead and let's just jump into the food. Make sure you have water, was what I was saying. I have a water filter system. I'll actually put lots of water in the mason jars that I have just in case I do need extra water. I can filter that through the drinking system in case we're not getting water from the tap. If we are getting water from the tap, sometimes there's where you have to boil it. So you can boil it. I'd probably still put it through my filter just as an extra level of precaution. So, oh, and toilet paper is evidently being sold out. I thought everybody had learned from the pandemic that you should have extra, but they haven't. From what I'm hearing from my friends who are going to the stores, they're selling out of like bread and water and toilet paper again. Learn, everybody. Learn. I know, it's hard. Some people don't have the money for it. If you're in that situation, I definitely apologize. I was not trying to make light. But I know a lot of these people who are going out to buy all this extra obviously have the money, which meant they should have learned. My 2 cents. So, what kind of things do I keep in my pantry? It's a box. I keep it in a box. I'm not going to lie. It's not a pantry. It's just a box. The one thing I keep is bone broth. This is the Thrive brand chicken bone broth. I also have some Kettle Fire, which is a little bit more accessible. I think you can actually get this through Thrive as well. Their own brand is just a little bit cheaper. A lot of people really love the Kettle Fire bone broths. This is just their beef broth. They also have ones that are made into more of like a soup. So that could be something that you want to check out. I know there are a lot of people with promo codes. I don't have one of those, but maybe go try to find one to save you a little bit of money. But this is just a really good source of nutrition that you can just drink just like this. It's electrolytes. It's very good for you. Bone broth is very good for you. I also have bone broth that I can use if wanted. I'm not a big soup person, but I have had just like a few ounces of bone broth just to drink it whenever I'm not feeling well to make me feel better. So I have that. Then the other things are various types of canned and packaged meats. So I have things like salmon. This is just some Kroger salmon that I picked up when it was on sale. Just skinless, boneless, wild caught. Because I've heard that's what you want is wild caught. Just because farm raised isn't as good. I would suggest some type of canned meat. This is one that I still have left over from my trip to Costco that Jennifer took me on. So I have various different types of canned chicken meat. So I would suggest that. I also have some Vienna sausages. Sorry, it's really a glare, but just some Vienna sausages. These are smoked. I have just regular ones as well. I also have some potted meat, which is just another meat source. So my box is very high protein source. It also has some packages of nut butters and a jar of almond butter, which I do want to eat, but it's in there for a reason. I actually went to a hurricane. Well, we called it a hurricane party. But I brought my rations, which was like 3 jars of peanut butter back in the day. And they thought I was really funny for bringing peanut butter until all the power was out for over 24 hours. And peanut butter was really easy to eat and filling. And then my decision wasn't so funny anymore. So I do have a jar of almond butter in my stash as well. And I don't just have like one thing of sardines. I've got like 6 things of sardines. I probably have 8 different cans of chicken. Probably a dozen almost Vienna sausages. 5 or 6 packs of the salmon. I think I probably have 6 things of bone broth. So it would be enough realistically if needed to, because these you can just pop open, you can eat them, you have your nutrition that you need for the day. Drink a little bit of bone broth with it to get those added extra nutrients. Drink your water that you've had filtered or already filtered and saved, ready to go. I will make some tea and stuff the night before the storms come through, just to make sure. That way, even if the power goes out, I may not have ice, but I'll have fresh water or liquids to consume. and then a bunch of different meats. Now, as you all know, I'm still going through my pantry challenge. So, Misty, can't you eat from your pantry too? Yes, I absolutely will eat from my pantry. And I will eat things like the bars or the jerkies or like the wisps or the moon cheese or things like that. So yeah, I would definitely, absolutely still eat through my pantry. But there's not a lot of meat or protein in my pantry. So these are the types of protein food stashes that I keep that can be made without electricity, which is really what we're looking for. Well, we're not looking for that. I'm just saying that's what we're prepping for. So all of this stuff is good for a long, long time. This is good through, the sardines are good through 2023. The Vienna sausages are good through 2023. The chicken is good through 2023. So I know it seems silly to have a hurricane stash, but if you've been through a hurricane and been without power, you want food that, one, you can eat, which, so spoiler alert, I've never eaten sardines that I can remember, but I have several boxes. So we may be jumping into the stash of hurricane foods just to try the sardines. My mom says I should do a taste test. If that's something you're interested in, or if you like sardines, let me know down below if I should give it a try. I feel like I had it a long time ago on crackers with mustard. And I can still have mustard, but I can't have crackers. But that's how I got oysters down too, was putting them on crackers. So we'll just kind of have to play that one by ear and see how it goes, or if I try it. But guaranteed, if I was hungry enough, I would eat me some sardines. And that's the truth. So that's why they're in my hurricane stash pack while on keto. So I hope you found this a little bit, like I said, either informative, interesting, or entertaining. If you found it to be any one of those things, that would be a win for me. This was something that I was going to be putting out there anyway over the next few weeks, just because I think it's an interesting topic and you don't see much on it. But with 2 storms, possibly hurricanes, coming through, I thought this was the perfect time to just go ahead and do it and put it out there. So comment down below, are you in the path of the storms, or are you safe? Have you ever been through a hurricane, or for whatever reason had to live without power for multiple days? Do you have a stash ready for that as necessary? Let me know down below. Subscribe if you know how. Like this video if you like it. Dislike it if you disliked it. Engagement is engagement, and it helps my channel. So if there's anything else you would like to see, let me know. If you have any questions about the storms or hurricanes, or why I chose things or didn't put certain things in my stash. Now, again, this is not a full list. This is just, I keep a box and I keep this stuff in it just in case there's a hurricane. It's obviously food that's edible. So at the end of the year, I normally eat some of it, restock some of it. Some of it, as you saw, is good for like 3 or 4 years, because this is a newer box that I've made of stuff with more keto-friendly products in it, because my previous boxes had a lot of peanut butter and a lot of crackers and a lot of things that you just shouldn't be eating on keto. So my box had to change, so I thought I'd share with you my new keto box, and hope you found it entertaining. With that being said, if you don't hear from me in the next few days, I am going to try to schedule a video to go up on Wednesday. The storms are supposed to come through on Monday and Tuesday, I believe. They're just like, they're starting to follow each other. It may miss Houston. It may go straight for my mama and my aunt and my cousin in Louisiana. You never know. That Laura could turn again and go back for Florida for Travis. So either way, my family's going to be watching these storms. We're going to be ready. We're going to be prepared. I hope you are as well. Stay safe. Stay inside if there's a storm. Turn around. Don't drown is a real thing during flash flooding. Please don't forget. And until next time, I'll see you real soon.